Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah. All praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Rekakadash. Now, these Edomites don't understand that they're getting closer and closer to their slavery and their captivity, because the nation of Israel is coming out of their captivity and ready to go into their kingdom. The kingdom is at hand. Now we're going to start from the beginning in Genesis chapter 15 to let them know this been the plan of the Most High from the beginning. And that's what Genesis means, the beginning. Now chapter 15, verse 13, it says, and he said unto Abram, know of a certainty that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, be slaves, and they shall be afflicted for 400 years. 14, it say, and also that nation. You see, that's where a lot of people going over that one. That nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance. Now, you got you got the whole United Nation, all the Gentiles ruling. And the Israelites is scattered into all nations. Now let's get that in Isaiah 14. That gives some clarity on the situation. That nation, he said, they're going to end up in a nation that's not theirs, and that nation that they serving, they going to have to go into captivity, and the Israelites coming out with a lot of substance and wealth. But Isaiah chapter 14, starting at 18, it saying, all the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, everyone in his own house. You see, these nations, all the nations, have kings and they're ruling in their land. Even as these red dragons is ruling the king of Babylon, while they ruling, they're allowing all these other nations to be in their own land, and they just probably pay tribute to this dragon like they did in the Roman times and the Grecian times. But you're going to get to the point where in verse 1 and 2 of Isaiah chapter 14 gonna come into play. Let's go ahead and get that since we right here. It say, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the stranger shall be joined with them. That's these Edomites. And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Verse 2, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them, these Edomites, in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, slaves. And they shall take them captives whose captives they were. All these nations that have the nation of Israel in their homeland and refuse to let them go. And they shall rule over their oppressors. You see, the nation of Israel going to rule over their oppressors, and ain't going to be no Israelite in slavery or in servitude to anybody. They going to be ruling and putting these other nations in submission. Now let's jump over to Lamentations to let these peoples know. Lamentations chapter 4 verse 21, it says, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, you red dragons that dwelleth in the land of Uz, and the cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked. Now in verse 22, it say, the punishment of your iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. See, the Israelites done paid. They done paid their time. Did their time. You know, we done did our sentence, and it's time for us to get released out of prison. And it say, he will no more carry thee away into captivity. You dragons ain't gonna carry nobody that's an Israelite into captivity once we come up out of here. He will visit your iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. So now you dragons got to go into captivity. You see, because we have done got to the point where we done did 400 plus, and it's a wrap. You can see what's going on in the world. They talking about the world going to end. No, ain't no world going to end. It's your rulership finna end. That's what's finna end. Now let's get this rulership, because see, these people thinking that it's a hard situation to understand. Genesis 27. We got to go back to the beginning and get the certified reason why these dragons has got a rulership along with the Israelites, Abraham's seed. And because technically the Edomites is Abraham's seed, and so that's why they received a rulership. He promised his seed would have a rulership, and they would have servants. And that's what Esau cried to his father and got. In chapter 27, starting at verse 34, he said, and when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, bless me, even me also, my father. You see, so they was mad about that blessing, boy. They wanted that first blessing. Jumping over to 38, Genesis 27. He said, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, my father. And he kept on crying like a baby. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. So when you get to 39, it goes into what Isaac told him. Isaac said, his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And some like the Jewish Bible say, you will have the richness of the earth. Ain't gonna really be no fatness of the earth. He's talking about the richness of the earth. You gonna be the rich ruling class on earth. That's gonna be the blessing. Not only that, in verse 40, he say, and by thy sword shall thou live, and shall serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And so that's how these dragons gonna have to go into captivity after their rulership. Because see, their rulership is gonna be a short rulership. Now let's go into this short rulership. Since we got the rulership down pat, it's gonna be a short rulership. Now let's jump into Job right quick. Job chapter 20. In verse 5, it says that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. So these dragons' rulership is very short. And then it says in verse 29 of chapter 20, it says, this is the portion of a wicked man from God, and the heritage upon it unto him by God. You see, that was his heritage, that he was gonna have a short rulership, and because he was also a son of Isaac and Abraham. Now when you go to Revelation, when it identifies these red dragons, these red devils. Now in chapter 12, verse 12, and getting straight to the point, he say, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. You see, these hypocrites, these lying dragons, know that they got but a short time to rule. And so they going to come down with great wrath and try to go to war with the Israelites. And so you go to chapter 20, verse 3, it repeats the same thing. It says, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and put a seal upon him, set a seal upon him, that he shall deceive the nation no more till the 1,000 years shall be fulfilled. And after that, after he come out into the Europe and start ruling again in 1492, after that, he must be loosed for a little season. You see, they know they got a short period of time, a little season that they gonna rule. He has appointed him a specific small shorter time that he gonna rule, and then the Israelites is gonna take over from there. Now let's go and get Daniel and show how this thing gonna go down, because it ain't gonna be no, it's gonna be some kind of charity. He ain't giving out no charity now. We ain't asking. When we get that spiritual power, we not asking. Let's see here. Let's jump on over to let's do 44 real quick. Daniel chapter 2 verse 44. It says, in the days of those kings, while these people ruling over us, shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. So it ain't gonna be no, it's our time to rule. Y'all go ahead and move out the way, sit on down, and fill out your application and start working. No, ain't gonna be none of that. It's not gonna be none of that. Now let's go to Daniel chapter 7, see how this thing gonna go down. Verse 18, it say, but this chapter 7, verse 18 in Daniel, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever and ever. It's gonna be taken from these dragons. We gonna take it. That means he gonna give us spiritual power to take it. But while Yahweh shall destroying they behind and disabling them, they still gonna have some sort of power that they can get to, but we gonna be on the scene with spiritual power. And let's get that. Let's go ahead and get that. Let them know once we get this spiritual power, you going to captivity. There ain't gonna be no, you gonna battle and it's gonna be some kind of struggle. Ain't nothing. You gonna be straight up captivity, because you can't fight the spirit. You can fight the flesh all day, but once he put that spirit on them, it's a wrap. You gonna have to tuck your tail like a little scary lion. Now in Zephaniah chapter 12 verse 8, it say, in that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem. This how he gonna defend us. And he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as God, as the angel of the Lord before them. Verse 9, and it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem. So every nation with these Edomites got to go into captivity. You see, ain't gonna be no action, and ain't gonna be no bucking the system. As you already know, the angel of the Lord can kill 180 something thousand people in a short period of time. So when he make us into or give us spiritual power where we almost, or we equal to the angel. Well, let's get that in see if I can get that in the gospel. When they was asking Yahweh about some marriage, and they were debating about marriage or whatever. He said, well, y'all worried about the wrong thing because they gonna be equal to the angels. You see, they gonna be equal to the angels at that time. So what you talking about? It ain't even gonna matter. It don't even matter, you know, cause y'all don't understand what's gonna pop off. He gonna give us spiritual powers, man, and we gonna be equal to the angels. You see, that's what they not understanding. So it's gonna be slavery, and it's almost here, and they know it. Get ready for slavery, cause that's where you going. Because when somebody get life in prison, or they get 30 years in prison, when they not gonna stay there for 60 years. They not gonna stay there for 70. They not gonna die in prison. It was a 30-year bid. They went in there at 20. They 50 years old, and it's time for them to come up out of there. And they might, if they was innocent, they gonna come out of there with a lawsuit and be a millionaire on your behind. And that's exactly what's going on with the Israelites. It's like we went to jail for 30 years. We was innocent. We got a lawsuit to sue the state. The state got to give us $40 million, and we gonna come out of there with much substance and rich. You see, and that's what's going. That's what's going on right now. Their kingdom is falling because we is finna start ruling, and they gonna have to gain all the curses that we had. I think that's what Deuteronomy 30 verse 11 or 30 verse 7 talked about. Our enemies gonna have to have the curses that we had put on us. It's gonna be put on our enemies, meaning it's gonna be put on these Edomites and all these dragons that's ruling. Salakia. But I'm gonna leave it there. All praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Kakadash. Double honors to the elders pushing the truth. Peace to the elect worldwide. Our kingdom is at hand, and it's almost time for slavery, dragon. Shalom.